Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing in on behalf of my colleague, the Minister of Trade and Industry. So indeed, I must speak to the mic, okay. No, thank you very much, Program Director. It is indeed an honor to address you at this important South Africa-Turkey Business Forum, convened on the margins of the 5th Turkey Africa Business Forum. Indeed, it is a privilege for us to address you as esteemed business forum convened on the margins of this business forum. So this gathering, Program Director, is more than a dialogue for us between our two nations, because it embodies the convergence of two robust and forward-looking economies, which are guided by shared values, aligned ambitions, and a common conviction that partnerships founded on mutual respect and sustainable growth have the potential to contribute meaningfully to the evolving global economic order. Turkey and South Africa stand at the crossroads of continents, Africa meeting Eurasia, and that geographic and strategic position lies immense potential. So our partnership is not new. It is rooted in decades of solidarity, trade, and cultural exchange. Through today's engagement, we, however, seek to orientate our relationship in a direction towards one that is more strategic, more intentional, and more focused on tangible outcomes. Turkey has become South Africa's one of its largest trading partner in the East and developing Europe region. Our two-day trade, while fluctuating in recent years, it continues to show resilience and diversity. South Africa exports to Turkey from minerals to machinery to automotive components and agricultural products. It tells a story of industrial capability and competitiveness. Likewise, Turkey exports to South Africa spanning from energy, consumer electronics, textiles, and manufacturing, which reflects its innovative adaptability and world-class product base. But numbers only tell part of the story. What duly defines this partnership is a shared determination to move from dialogue to delivery. 2 days ago, South Africa and Turkey held an inaugural session of our binational commission in Ankara, a milestone that elevates our relationship to the highest level of structured cooperation. It provides a strong framework to coordinate our efforts across trade, investment, defense, energy, mining, digitization, skills development, and people-to-people cooperation, to name just a few. A significant milestone reached this week was the signing of this memorandum on special economic zones, and this memorandum of understanding will enable exchange of expertise in the development of management of these special economic zones, a joint capacity building programs, and opportunities for Turkish and South African firms to co-locate production facilities in both countries. So we do view this as a practical instrument to drive industrial cooperation, linking South Africa's special economic zones, such as the Tshwane Automotive Zone, Kucha and Atlantis, with Turkey's free zone, organized industrial zones, and technoparks. It is through such linkages that we will expand technology transfer, innovation, and research collaboration. As the global economy faces uncertainty with new tariffs, disrupted supply chains, the rising protectionism, partnerships like ours become even more important. They allow developing nations to act in solidarity, build resilience, and chart their own economic destiny. It is precisely in this point that, as South Africa, we wish to engage Turkey, because we view it as a key partner and seek to expand collaboration as follows. Firstly, we seek to position Turkey as a strategic hub for South Africa's value-added exports into Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East, thereby reducing our dependence on traditional markets. Secondly, we'd like to see more Turkish investments in renewable energy, electric vehicles, manufacturing, and critical minerals, sectors that are key to our joint energy transition. Thirdly, we seek to strengthen cooperation in agro-processing to boost rural development, increase food security, and add value across agricultural value chains in both countries. And lastly, Program Director, we seek to expand cooperation in ICT, smart manufacturing, and innovation ecosystems that can enhance both our countries and competitiveness. We also wish to see strong potential. We also see strong potential to collaboration in defense and aerospace industries, in pharmaceuticals and medical devices, textiles, advanced manufacturing, and agro-processing. These are not abstract ideas. They are real opportunities to create jobs, strengthen food security, transfer cutting-edge technology, and unlock industrial capacity in both our countries. By working together, we can turn these opportunities into shared prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, just allow me to point to reflect on the presence and the leadership of our Deputy President, His Excellency Paul Mashatile. The Deputy President has been a relentless champion of inclusive economic growth, a leader who believes that Africa's prosperity must be built by Africans in partnership with like-minded nations such as Turkey. His vision for economic transformation is grounded in the principles of partnership, industrialization, and innovation. Through his career and also through his life, His Excellency has worked tirelessly to advance investment, infrastructure development, and trade diversification. He is very passionate about ensuring that Africa is not seen merely as a source of raw material, but as a continent of opportunity, value addition, and global competitiveness. Under the leadership of our Deputy President, South Africa has prioritized the revitalization of the industrial base, the transition to a low-carbon economy, and the expansion of export-led growth. He has championed the integration of African economies through the African Continent Free Trade Area, seeing it not just as an agreement on paper, but as a living instrument for transformation that can link Africa's value chains with global partners, including Turkey. Our Deputy President, His Excellency, has often reminded us that Africa's future lies in strategic cooperation, in building bridges between emerging economies, and in turning shared challenges into shared opportunities. It is precisely this thinking that underpins South Africa's approach to its partnership with Turkey. Later will be addressed by Deputy President, who is exemplified one that exemplifies the principles of progress, of inclusion, of collaborative development. Indeed, a leader who has dedicated his efforts to driving South Africa's economic renewal and strengthening Africa's view on the global stage. Program, I thank you most sincerely. Thank you.
Mrs. Angie Moteka from the Ministry of Defense and Veterans. Thank you so much, ma. And evet, belirtmek isterim. Konuşan hanımefendi Savunma ve Gaziler Bakanlığı'ndan. Evet, teşekkür ediyoruz Angie hanımefendiye. Şimdi değerli katılımcılar, konuşmalarını yapmak üzere Cumhuriyeti Ticaret Bakanımız Sayın Profesör Doktor Omel Bolat sahneye davet ediyoruz. Buyursunlar efendim.
Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti'nin çok değerli Cumhurbaşkanı Mashatile, kıymetli Savunma Bakanı, kıymetli Dışişleri Bakanı, değerli bakan yardımcıları, kıymetli büyükelçiler, Dış Ekonomik İlişkiler Kurulu DEİK'in değerli başkanı ve Türkiye-Güney Afrika İş Konseyimizin değerli başkanı, kıymetli iş dünyası temsilcileri, değerli basın mensupları. Bu hafta Afrika Bayramı olarak geçiriyoruz. Hafta Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı Yardımcısı Paul Mashatile'nin Ankara'ya yaptığı resmi ziyaretle başladı. Değerli bakanları, bakan yardımcıları çok geniş bir heyetle kıymetli Cumhurbaşkanı Yardımcımız Sayın Cevdet Yılmaz'ın misafiri olarak Ankara'da bulundular. Hükümet üyelerimizle bakanlar düzeyinde görüşmeler yapıldı. İkili zirve toplantıları yapıldı. Ve saygıdeğer Cumhurbaşkanımız ile Sayın Paul Mashatile'nin görüşmeleri oldu. Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti'nin ülkemiz ile olan ilişkilerinde inşallah bir dönüm noktası olacak. Bu ziyaretle birlikte dünden bu yana da Türkiye Afrika Ticaret ve Ekonomi Zirvesi TABEF'in 5.'sini gerçekleştiriyoruz. Ticaret Bakanlığı olarak DEİK'in ve de Afrika Birliği'nin destekleriyle düzenlediğimiz bu programa ve Türkiye Güney Afrika İş Forumu'na hoş geldiniz, sefalar getirdiniz diyorum. Çok yoğun geçen bu 2 gün boyunca 54 Afrika ülkesinden toplam 3.000'e yakın resmi ve özel sektör temsilcileri bu zirveye katılıyorlar. Türkiye'den de binlerce iş insanları bu zirvede Afrikalı mevkidaşlarıyla görüşmeler yapıyor ve bu çerçevede Afrika ülkelerinden 26 ülkeden gelen ticaret bakanları, bakan yardımcılarıyla resmi oturumlar gerçekleştirdik. Bunun yanında Afrika için çok önemli olan gıda güvenliği, yenilenebilir enerji, lojistik, imalat sanayi, altyapı projeleri ve finansmanları başta olmak üzere ulaştırma sektörü, bütün bu alanlarda kıymetli bakan arkadaşlarımın da iştirak ettiği önemli paneller gerçekleştiriliyor ve çok yoğun katılımlarla Türkiye-Afrika arasındaki ekonomik ilişkileri, ticaret, yatırım, enerji, ulaştırma, lojistik, hizmetler sektörlerinde nasıl daha yukarılara yükseltebiliriz? Bunları çalışıyoruz. Bugün şu anda gerçekleştirdiğimiz Türkiye Güney Afrika Ekonomi Forumu, İş Forumu inşallah Türkiye ile kardeş ülke, dost ülke Güney Afrika arasındaki ekonomik ilişkileri geliştirme hususunda çok önemli bir lokomotif görevi görecek. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı Yardımcısı Paul Mashatile'nin Ankara'daki Sayın Cevdet Yılmaz Cumhurbaşkanı Yardımcımız başkanlığındaki heyetimizle yaptıkları görüşmelerde çok önemli anlaşmalara imzalar attık. Biz de Ticaret Bakanları olarak her iki ülkenin arasında ortak bir ekonomi ve ticaret komitesi, kısa adıyla JETKO'nun kurulması anlaşmasını imzaladık ve diğer taraftan da serbest bölgeler alanında işbirliği anlaşması imzaladık. Başka imzalar da bakanlar arasında atıldı Ankara'da. JETKO ile inşallah bundan sonra Türkiye ile Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti arasındaki ekonomik ilişkileri çok daha hızlı rakamlara yükselteceğiz ve her iki ülkenin kıymetli halklarının refahının artması için bu çalışmalar büyük katkılar yapacaktır. Gelecek yılın ilk yarısı içinde inşallah Türkiye'den çok geniş bir yatırımcı, müteahhitlik ve ticaret heyetiyle beraber Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti'ne ziyaret gerçekleştireceğiz ve de bu JETKO toplantılarının ilkini Güney Afrika'da gerçekleştireceğiz. Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti 3 trilyon dolar milli geliri olan Afrika kıtasının en gelişmiş, en sanayileşmiş, altyapısı en iyi durumdaki ülkesi konumunda. İnşallah daha güzel rakamlara ve daha büyük ekonomik gelişmelere ulaşmalarını yürekten diliyoruz. Biz Türkiye Cumhuriyeti olarak değerli Cumhurbaşkanımızın 2003 yılında başlattığı Afrika stratejisi çerçevesinde bütün Afrika ülkeleri gibi Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti ile de siyasi, diplomasi, ekonomi, ticaret, yatırım, ulaştırma, enerji her alanda ilişkilerimizi azami büyüklüğe çıkarmak, yükseltmek için çalışıyoruz. Ve bunların da gerçekten semeresini gördük. Türkiye, Afrika'ya eşitlik, adalet, karşılıklı saygı ve yüzyıllarca mağdur edilmiş Afrika halklarının ve Afrika ülkelerinin kalkınması, gelişmesi ve buna destek olma amacıyla Afrika'ya bakmaktadır. Ve Afrika için güvenilir, sağlam, güçlü bir müttefik ve ortaktır. Ve biz de Afrika ülkelerini aynı şekilde görüyoruz. Aradan geçen 22 yılda Türkiye-Afrika ilişkileri her alanda mükemmel düzeye yükseldi. Diplomaside, ekonomide, ticarette rakamlarımız çok büyüdü. Türkiye-Afrika ticareti 7 kat arttı, 37 milyar dolara yükseldi. Bu yıl inşallah 40 milyar doları aşacağız. Türk yatırımları Afrika'da 15 milyar doları aştı. Yüz binlerce Afrikalılara gelir kazandırmaktadır. Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti ile de karşılıklı ticaretimiz 2 milyar doları aşmıştır. Bu noktada 650 milyon dolar Türkiye'nin ihracatı, 1 milyar 350 milyon dolar da Güney Afrika'nın ihracatı vardır. Başta tarım makineleri olmak üzere elektrikli makineler, savunma sanayi ürünleri, otomotiv ürünleri olmak üzere demir, maden, kömür sektörlerinde karşılıklı ticaretlerimizi ve yatırımlarımızı arttırabileceğimiz büyük fırsatlar bulunmaktadır. Enerji sektörü, ulaştırma sektörü, liman işletmeciliği de Türkiye ile Güney Afrika arasındaki işbirliği alanlarında yer almaktadır. Güney Afrika'dan Türkiye'de 80 kadar yatırımcı firma bulunmakta. Yaklaşık 75 kadar Türk firmada beyaz eşya, plastik ürünler, elektronik cihazlar, makine imalatı, toptan ve perakende ticaret alanında Güney Afrika'da yatırımlar yapmışlardır. Bundan sonraki süreçte gerek resmi temaslarımızın daha fazla sıkılaştırılması, gerekse de iş insanlarının sektörel ve genel ticaret heyetleri olarak karşılıklı ziyaretlerin ve programların arttırılması, enerji, lojistik, altyapı, tarım gibi alanlarda işbirliğimizi geliştirmek ve 2030 kalkınma planı olan Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti'nin kalkınma yarışında, kalkınma atağında Türk müteahhitlerinin de daha fazla katkılar yapacağına inanıyoruz. Bilgi teknolojileri, sağlık, turizm, eğitim, savunma sanayi de diğer işbirliği alanlarını oluşturmaktadır. Sözlerime burada son verirken Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı Yardımcısı Paul Mashatile'ni ve değerli heyetinin ülkemize gerçekleştirdiği bu ziyaretin Türkiye-Güney Afrika ilişkilerinde büyük bir dönüm noktası ve kilometre taşı olacağına yürekten inanıyorum. tüm iş dünyası temsilcilerini her iki değerli dost ülkenin ekonomilerine daha fazla katkı yapacak işbirliğini geliştirmeye davet ediyorum. Tekrar katılımınızdan dolayı hepinize teşekkür eder, saygılar sunarım.
Teşekkür ediyoruz Ticaret Bakanımıza, Sayın Profesör Doktor Ömer Bolat. Evet, ağzınıza sağlık efendim. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinguished honor and privilege to invite to the stage His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Paul Mashatile. Evet. Hitaplarını gerçekleştirmek üzere Güney Afrika Cumhuriyeti Bakan Yardımcısı Sayın Paul Mashatile kürsüye teşriflerinizi arz ederim efendim. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Please be seated. Minister of Trade of the Republic of Türkiye, Dr. Omar Bolat. Minister of Trade of the Republic of South Africa, Minister Ronald Lamola. Minister of Defense of the Republic of South Africa, Minister Motshekga. Ministers from Turkey here present, deputy ministers from South Africa, and deputy ministers from Turkey who are here present. Chairperson and President of DAEC, Mr. Abubakar Salim, and Mr. Neil Olpak, and business and industry leaders from here in Turkey. Mr. Elias Monache, President of Black Business Council from South Africa, and business and industry leaders from South Africa. Ambassadors from South Africa and Turkey, honorary consular generals who are present here with us, esteemed business leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking our host, the Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey, DAEC, for their warm hospitality and for their continued efforts to bring our two business communities together. The South Africa-Türkiye Business Council has become an important platform for dialogue, collaboration, cementing, and the creation of new opportunities. South Africa and Turkey are natural partners. Both are strong industrial players in our region with diverse economies and entrepreneurial energy. We share a belief in the power of innovation, manufacturing, and trade to drive inclusive growth. Earlier this week, I had the honor of co-chairing the inaugural South Africa-Türkiye Binational Commission in Ankara with the Vice President. It was a historic milestone, elevating our cooperation to a new and more strategic level. One key outcome was the signing of a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in the field of free zones. This follows a benchmarking study by South African officials who visited Turkey to learn from its successful zone models. Through this agreement, we aim to strengthen our own special economic zones, attract more investments, and develop export pipelines between our two countries. Over the past few days, I also met with leading Turkish companies in sectors such as agriculture, energy, defense, and electronics. A prime example of this partnership is Arçelik, a company that has become a household name in South Africa through the ownership of DeFi. Since acquiring DeFi in 2011, Arçelik has developed one of the strongest models of Turkey's industrial collaboration on the African continent. Today, they employ more than 2,700 South Africans across major manufacturing facilities, making DeFi the largest producer of household appliances in sub-Saharan Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, South Africa's economy has shown remarkable resilience over the past year. GDP growth is projected at 1.6% for 2025, supported by stronger manufacturing output, better logistics, and a greater energy stability. Exports grew by nearly 5% in 2024, driven by higher value products in automotive, mineral processing, and agriculture. Business confidence has steadily improved, reflecting investor optimism in our economic reforms. The South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry's Business Confidence Index has shown steady recovery, averaging 115 points in mid-2025, reflecting optimism about our economic reforms and investor confidence. Our Energy Action Plan continues to attract investment in renewable energy, battery storage, and green hydrogen. All of these areas offer immense opportunities for Turkish collaboration and core manufacturing. Looking ahead, we want to deepen this partnership not only through trade, but through shared industrial innovation, technology, and skills transfer and development. Turkey's expertise in advanced manufacturing, combined with South Africa's infrastructure and young, skilled workforce, creates an ideal foundation for cooperation in the fourth industrial revolution. Our partnership with Turkey is therefore not only economic, but also developmental, empowering our people, strengthening our industries, and contributing to a shared future of prosperity and justice. While bilateral trade between our countries reached approximately $2 billion in 2024, we know we can do much more. Our goal is to diversify and balance our trade relationship. At present, South Africa exports mostly raw materials, whilst Turkey exports mostly finished products. We want to change that dynamic to grow both sides through value-added production and joint ventures. Our partnership will be guided by 3 pillars: diversification, decarbonization, and industrial collaboration. Through this approach, we aim to expand South African exports of manufactured and processed goods, including automotive products, mining equipment, agro-processed foods, and pharmaceuticals, while encouraging greater Turkish investments in renewable energy, defense, textiles, ICT, and pharmaceuticals. We also recognize the need to address trade barriers such as tariffs and standards to unlock the full potential of our partnership. Yesterday, during a dinner we had with some of the business people, there was someone complaining about the issue of incentives. So I want to confirm that there are incentives in South Africa. You must just come and talk to us. We'll be able to assist you. We also recognize the need to address trade barriers such as tariffs and standards to unlock the full potential of our partnership. Currently, Turkish investments in South Africa total around $32 million, concentrated mainly in textiles, food, and appliances. We welcome this, and we are ready to support further expansion. Likewise, South African investments in Turkey have grown from $217 million in 2022 to $274 million in 2023. This growth shows our confidence in one another's markets and our shared ambition to build sustainable, innovation-driven economies. This is because we are making it easier and more attractive place to do business. We are simplifying regulations, strengthening industrial incentives, as I said, but also expanding special economic zones. Importantly, the African Continental Free Trade Area, the largest free trade area in the world, gives Turkish investors access to a market of about 1.4 billion people. By investing in South Africa, you can gain a foothold, not just in our country, but across the entire African continent. The opportunities are vast, from renewable energy and automotive manufacturers to defense, agriculture, infrastructure, pharmaceutical, but also digital innovation. In energy, South Africa's growing demand opens new avenues for investments in generation, transmission, distribution, and in repurposing old coal plants for cleaner power. Opportunities in wind and solar energy and in component manufacturing for these technologies are expanding rapidly. We are also prioritizing infrastructure development in transport, logistics, water, and energy to improve capacity and efficiency. We invite Turkish firms to partner with South African companies to localize production and build industrial capacity for the continent. There are also growing opportunities in the automotive and mobility sectors. We invite Turkish companies to consider setting up local operations in South Africa, bringing technical expertise and innovation that can be mutually beneficial. There are also exciting prospects in semiconductors, glass, and composite materials, all essential components for the modern industry. In healthcare, Turkey's strong pharmaceuticals and medical device industries can play a key role in helping South Africa build a more resilient and localized health system. We see particular promise in partnerships around vaccines, diagnostics, and mRNA research and development. We also see great potential in defense and agro-processing sectors. South African defense companies will participate in Konya Defense Industry Fair in November, showcasing their capabilities and exploring integration into Turkish supply chains. In agriculture, we are eager to see more South African products on Turkish shelves and Turkish technology supporting African farming. To help deepen this cooperation, I extend a warm invitation for Turkish companies to attend our flagship investment events, including the Mining Indaba in February next year, Africa Energy Week in March, and Lit Africa in May, Africa Health and the Africa Aerospace and Defense also in 2026. These platforms will help you to understand South Africa's investment landscape and meet potential local partners. Ladies and gentlemen, this forum should mark the beginning of a new phase of practical cooperation, one that includes trade missions, joint ventures, and stronger collaboration of our chambers of commerce and development finance institutions. We are encouraged by the growing role of the private sector in driving this partnership. Turkish and South African firms are already working together in renewable energy, in automotive components, textiles, and also construction. To build on this momentum, we have brought a strong South African business delegation here to this forum, representing key sectors including automotive, healthcare, defense, agro-processing, ICT, mining, and finance. Our task now is to focus not only on the volume of trade, but on the quality, ensuring that every partnership creates jobs, builds skills, and strengthens our industrial base. South Africa views Turkey as a strategic partner, a bridge between Europe, Asia, and Africa, a nation that shares our commitment to industrial development, innovation, and inclusive prosperity. Let this forum serve as a catalyst, a platform to unlock new possibilities in trade, investment, and technology cooperation. The future belongs to those who build together, who look beyond borders, and who transform shared aspirations into shared prosperity. Together, South Africa and Turkey can advance a new development compact, one that is green, digital, and inclusive, uplifting our people and strengthening the bonds of our shared humanity. With those few words, I thank you for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Your Excellency Paul Mashatile, a fascinating speech focusing particularly about strengthening